global health seems to be in the news more and more in recent years. Talk about what global health is and why it's important to pay attention to it.
Um, Global health is an area of study and research and practice. So global health puts its priority in health and achieving equity in health in different areas and different countries. Because it's global, so it's worldwide, and it involves many disciplines in health like poverty, the well-being of people, and their sanitary different things. So, yeah, global health is to involve individual clinical care that provides health. And it's important to pay attention to it because it prevents major threats that are in the community like poverty, since 1.2 billion people in the world live under poverty line, and this is a threat to their life and their health. So global health combines all of it.
Disease can come to us in different ways. Explain the difference between communicable and non-communicable disease.
Communicable diseases, these are infectious diseases that are transmitted by direct contact with an infected person, like HIV/AIDS and hepatitis, malaria. So it's through contact from a person or an animal. While a non-communicable disease, an NCD, is a medical condition that is not infectious, and it can also lead to many deaths, but you do not get it from directly.
Let's talk about Ebola. Since I'm sure most of our viewers have heard a lot about it, what is it and is it communicable or non-communicable? How do people get it?
So Ebola is an hemorrhagic fever that comes, and it's rare, and it's a deadly disease. So it is called by infections due to different Ebola viruses, and they say that it can be both in humans and non-humans like chimpanzees and monkeys. Ebola is a communicable disease because you can get it if you touch someone who has Ebola or direct contact. And also tell you about like what you want to know about it, like how do people get it. It's from direct transmissions, and also if you have different symptoms of Ebola, yeah, that's how you get it.
What would raise a person's risk of getting Ebola?
So the risks of getting Ebola is possibly contact from someone who has Ebola or who has just recovered from Ebola from 21 days, and also it's also by having either contact like having sex, either oral or any kind of sex with someone who has recovered from Ebola. Also, through working in areas where the outbreaks has occurred, or touching a dead body of someone who died from Ebola. So those can raise risks of getting Ebola.
So to prevent or at least lessen the chance of getting Ebola, what should people do?
So people first need to wash their hands with soaps and either sanitizers to make sure you're always clean so you don't get infections. Also, people they shouldn't touch bloody things or fluids like urine, saliva, or any sweat from people who are sick from Ebola. And also not to touch someone who died from Ebola. But also, they shouldn't touch anything that like injections, handle any items that have been in contact with someone who had Ebola.
So, outbreaks such as the one related to Ebola can generate a lot of rumors and misinformation and even panic about the disease. How it is transmitted and how likely people are to get it. Talk about the need for educating people about facts and versus myths.
So there is a need of education to educate about people about Ebola. So like the main education is how is Ebola transmitted. As I said before, it's through blood or body fluids, blood or saliva, sweat, as I said, objects, like needles, and also a person who is sick from Ebola, touching them, greeting them, any kind of stuff. Also through different animals like bats and monkeys. If they get to you and they have Ebola, you can get sick. Also contact with a semen or anyone who has been infected by Ebola. So that's the main education people need to know. And the myth about Ebola is that it's spread. Ebola is not spread through the air or water or food. And one of the myths about Ebola is that people say that you can get Ebola by traveling to Africa. Like not all African countries have Ebola and not all areas. So the specific things that people need to know, and the myths about it is like Ebola is always everywhere in Africa and all people in Africa have Ebola. So that's a myth. You can't get Ebola from eating their food or anything like that.
How about the complications that Ebola raises for the rights of travelers and the responsibility of governments? Katsi Hickox, for example, a nurse from Maine who returned to the States following a trip to West Africa in the fall of 2014, promptly had quarantine-related restrictions thrust upon her, restrictions that she was very much against. Briefly describe the difficulty of balancing individual rights and governmental responsibilities.
So thank you. The difficulty in balancing government's rights and individuals' rights is that the government work in a way that they think it's ethical to protect the whole society, even if they have to harm one person. But also the person has their rights. In the case of Kachi, she was coming from West Africa to heal Ebola as part of the Doctors Without Borders, and for her, she was against it because they put her in quarantine without checking whether she was infected or not. They put her in quarantine in New Jersey before she gets to her home, also into her home. So that was very bad because even if the government tried to protect their own society, but then they were harming one person. But the difficulty in balancing those is to think if what's ethical is to help one person or help the society at large. So these are the kind of difficulties they can meet.
Okay. Let's talk about smoking tobacco use, which is considered a big world health problem and raises similar issues to Ebola in terms of rights and responsibilities. Just about everyone knows that smoking harms health. What does it do to the body?
Okay, so smoking or tobacco use leads to different diseases. So I'll list some of them like cancer, heart diseases, strokes. People who smoke are subjected to lung diseases, diabetes. Also, they risk to have COPD when they grow old, which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And yeah, they might have chronic bronchitis where they keep on coughing at all times. So like smoking increases the risk of like eye diseases and many problems because the tobacco kills the immune system and people are really subjected to a lot of diseases. So that's what it does to the body.
People don't typically think of tobacco as drug like heroin and cocaine, but the addiction it creates is strong, isn't it? Should we think of tobacco like use a form of substance abuse?
Tobacco is also is not, people don't think it as heroin or cocaine because someone doesn't get crazy in a few times. But also tobacco has long-term effects, and for me, we should think as a form of substance, but not in the way of cocaine because it kills you mentally directly. But also tobacco can kill you mentally with long time. So I don't think we can put them together in the same category, but also we should think that tobacco has long-term effects that are bad to the body.
Last question. What is secondhand smoke? How does it affect people? So secondhand smoke is the way people who don't, like, if you live with someone who smokes and the smoke gets into you. So that is second smoke. You're not the one smoking, but you're smoking passively, like a passive smoker, because the smoke gets into you. So secondhand smoke, it has a lot of people, because 41,000 deaths among non-smoking adults. There is 41,000 deaths among non-smoking adults because of past secondhand smoke, and you have 400 deaths in children each year who die because of that. So you can see how much it affects people. And second smoke, it also causes strokes, lung cancers. It causes coronary heart disease. Also, children who are exposed to secondhand smoke, um, are like they increase in the sudden of like death symptoms. They die suddenly, and it's very bad for their health. So that's secondhand smoke.
Okay, thank you. It was a great pleasure